Hi guys, today we are going to discuss Cambridge IGCSE Chemistry Paper 2 Multiple Choice for Extended Syllabus. The past paper code is 0620/2 for paper 2. 1 for the area code is from May-June 2022. The duration for this past paper is 45 minutes. This past paper is the same like as chemistry with the code 0971, so it's just the same paper. There are two different codes, 0620 or 0971. Now let's get started. First, we'll scroll over the question, so you may take a screenshot if you would like to, and save in your laptop or computer and pause this video for a while. Do the question, then see the discussion together. So this last minute practice before exam. Now, question number 1 here. 2, and we go to this question number 2. Here we go, question number 3 and 4. 3 and 4. And next we go to question 5, 6, and then 7. And then we go to question 8. Next is question 9, and we go 10. This is 10. Okay. Question 11, 12, and 13. Here we go, question 14. Next is 15 and 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, 25, 26, 27, 28, 29, 30, 31, 32, 33, 34, 35, 36, 37, 38, 39, 40. Altogether 40 questions with given time 45 minutes. So maximum one question is 1 minute. Now let's scroll up and start the discussion together. You may pause this video and do as a practice. So this is question 1. Which two gases will diffuse at the same rate at the same temperature? Carbon monoxide, carbon dioxide, carbon monoxide, and nitrogen, chlorine and fluorine, nitrogen and oxygen. So diffuse depends on the relative mass. Now we want to check the relative mass of each of these. Carbon monoxide is CO, and carbon dioxide is CO2. So the relative mass for CO and CO2 definitely is different. So if they have different mass, the rate of diffusion will be different. So A is not the option. Carbon monoxide and nitrogen. Nitrogen is N2. The MR of CO is MR of atomic relative mass of C is 12, O is 16, so altogether we'll make 28, and is 14 times 2, so it's 28, so it equals. Since they have the same MR, the two gases will diffuse at the same rate. So question number 1 is B. Let's move on. Question number 2. A student measured the time taken for 2 grams of magnesium to dissolve in 50 cm³ of dilute sulfuric acid. Which apparatus is essential to complete the experiment? Reaction between magnesium is a metal with dilute sulfuric acid is an acid. It will produce hydrogen gas and salt. Now the hydrogen gas will escape. So to measure the time taken to dissolve, we need stop clock. And then balance, as the mass will reduce as hydrogen gas will escape this change in balance. 2 gram dissolved, and we complete the experiment. So this is not needed. So thermometer might be needed. So 2 is not. Measuring cylinder is needed since we want to measure the volume of the acid. So we need measuring cylinder. We need the balance to measure the mass of magnesium, and we need stop clock. But we do not need thermometer since we are not measuring the increase in temperature, but only the time taken for the metal magnesium to dissolve. So we need stop clock, balance to measure the magnesium 2 gram, and measuring cylinder to measure 50 milliliter of dilute sulfuric acid. So 1, 2, and 4 will be our answer. Question number 3. Okay, question number 3. The number of protons and neutrons and electronic structures for particles W, X, Y, and Z are shown. Which particle have the same chemical properties? For elements who have chemical properties, it has to have the same number of electrons in its outer shell. So we see the answer. Number of proton is equal to number of electrons. So this is 8. But in here, the electron structure is 2,8. So it's 10. So it is not matching. So this is 10, this is 8. This is not the answer. W will not be the answer. Now we have X and Y or X and Z. So X must be correct. Now let's check Y and Z. So Y, protons 8. Then the electron is 2, 6. So it's correct. 2 plus 6 is 8. This one is 10. 2 plus 8 is 10. But to have same chemical properties, two elements need to have the same valence electron, that is electron in its outer shell. So if it's between X and Y or X and Z, we see X as the valence electron of 6, so it should be 6. So X and Y will be the answer because the same valence electron in its outer shell. So that will be the answer C. Question number 3. Let's move on to the next question. If you have any question about this topic, please feel free to write in the comment section in Susan here YouTube channel. We will surely reply to you with another explanation in another video. If you like a free soft copy of this past paper, please feel free to email us and write in the comment section in this video, Susan here YouTube channel. Now let's move to question number 4. Which substance should be pure for intended use? A drug for curing disease, of course, drugs should be pure. That will be our absolute answer. We don't need to see the other. Question number 5. Metals and ionic compounds have similarities and differences in their structures and properties. Which row about metals and ionic compounds is correct? So we compare about metal and ionic compound for number 5. So metal and ionic compound, both they have positive ion. So it should be correct. Both are malleable. Not only metals are malleable. So this is not correct. Now let's compare A and B. Difference: only ionic compounds contain an ion. An ion is the negative ion. Negative ion. Next, ionic compound conduct using C of electron. That is for metal. Metal has C of electron, so not ionic compound. So statement, this statement is wrong. So we have the answer is 5 is A, because only ionic have negative ion. Metal only have positive ion. Question number 6. Which diagrams represent the outer shell electron arrangement in a nitrogen molecule? So nitrogen molecule is diatomic molecule N2, so it's between N and N. Now we know that N has triple bond. So the one that is triple bond this is 1 bond, 2 bond, and 3 bond. So this will be D. Number 6 is D. And this N has 8 electrons as a result of sharing 3 pairs. So does this N. So this is the correct configuration, D. Question 7. The equation for the reaction between barium chloride and dilute sulfuric acid is shown. which row shows the state symbols for this equation. So barium chloride and dilute sulfuric acid will be in aqueous. So aqueous and aqueous. So this is the only option since the others is not correct. So we have to choose 7A. Barium sulfate is the precipitation, so it should be S as a solid, and hydrochloric acid is in aqueous state. So A will be our answer. Let's move on to question 8. The relative atomic mass AR of an element is determined by comparing the mass of one atom of the element with the mass of one atom of element Q. So all atoms are compared to the element of carbon. That will be our only answer. This is also the same question in paper 1 for chemistry. So this is paper 2, and some questions are same in paper 1 and paper 2. Question 9. The equation for the reaction between aqueous lead nitrate and aqueous sodium chloride is shown. If 100 cm³ of aqueous lead nitrate of concentration 0.1 mol per dm³ is reacted with an excess of aqueous sodium chloride, this is an excess, which mass of lead chloride is obtained? So since this is in excess, the product depends on the mole of lead nitrate. It's given, 100 cm³ is the volume and this is the concentration. So we count the mole. The mole will be, according to formula, is concentration times the volume. So we have concentration is 0.1 mole per dm³ and the volume is 100 cm³. So we have to really check if one is in dm³ and the volume is in cm³. We have to convert this into decimeter cube. That is by dividing by 1000. So it will be, the volume will be 0.1 dm³. So 0.1 times 0.1 is 0.01 moles of lead nitrate. Now let's check if the reaction is balanced. Pb is 1 on the left, 1 on the right. NO3 is 2 times. NO3 in here is 2 times, because there's 2 here. Na is 2 and this is Na is 2. Cl is 2 and Cl is 2. So this equation is balanced. Now what should we do is we see the coefficient. So this is 1, nothing, and it's 1, 2, 1. So it means there will be 0.01 moles of lead chloride formed. Now how many grams is that? To get the mass, we have to times the mole with the mR to get the mass. So the mole is 0.01 and the mR of lead chloride we can check from periodic table. So this is our periodic table and the mR of lead is this and Cl is this. So if we magnify the mR is 207.2 and Cl is 35.5. So 35.5 plus 207.2. So you write the mR of PbCl is, the mR of PbCl2 is 207.2 plus 2 times 35.5 from the Cl. So we get a total of mR, we count is 278.2. So let's put this one in here, 278.2. So times 0.01 will be 2.782 gram. So that will be the answer. 782 grams, so 2.78. Number 9, the answer is C. Now let's move on. If you have any question regarding the quantitative chemistry, please write in the comment section. We'll reply to you with further explanation in another video. Alright, now let's move on to question 10. The diagram shows the electrolysis of concentrated hydrochloric acid and concentrated aqueous sodium chloride using carbon electrodes. Now, at which electrodes hydrogen is produced? Hydrogen is produced in negative electrode, which will be this and this. Now let's check the available cation. So it's hydrochloric acid, H plus, and chloric is Cl minus. So it will surely go here. The form now, this one is concentrated sodium and A plus and Cl minus, but it is aqueous, so there will be also H plus from water. So the one that will go will be hydrogen, since sodium is very reactive and it prefer to stay in the solution. So hydrogen will go to the negative electrode and form hydrogen gas. So it will be 2 and 4. Question number 10, 2 and 4. So it will be D. If you are confused or doubtful, you may write in the comment section. We will reply to you with this topic, electrolysis. Why both hydrogen is formed in electrode 2 and electrode 4. Okay, let's move on to next question. Question 11. Aqueous copper sulfate is electrolyzed using copper electrodes. Now, what is the ionic half equation for reaction at the cathode? Cathode will be the negative electrode. So the one that will go to negative electrode is the positive ion or the cation. The cation will be metal, Cu2 plus. So the half ionic will be Cu2 plus will be reduced to metal Cu. So it will be a reduction. So it will be B. That will be our answer. I hope it's clear. Question 12. Which row identifies a chemical change and a physical change? Chemical change is irreversible, while physical change is reversible. So chemical change is something that irreversible. Usually it's burning something with react with oxygen, and physical change is dissolve or dilute. So evaporating ethanol is also physical change. Burning is not physical. This is wrong. And evaporating is not. So the correct answer will be B for question 12. Let's move on to question 13. The equation for reaction between gases, hydrogen and gases, iodine, to form gases, hydrogen iodide, is shown. The reaction is exothermic. Which statement explains why the reaction is exothermic? Exothermic means the temperature of this surrounding is increasing since the system releases energy to the surrounding. That is due to the more energy is released when two Hi bonds form, and then compared to when it is used when HH and II bonds are broken. So that will be D. So bond formation will release energy. Bond breaking will need energy, but since more is released, that is the things that cause this reaction to be exothermic. Product that's why I have lower energy level, not higher than the reactant. The bond energy, B is not correct. Energy is released. Now energy is used when bond breaking. So this is wrong. Okay, question 13 is D. Question 14, acidified aqueous silver nitrate. So the reaction between acidified silver nitrate is added to a test tube containing chloride ion. The test tube is then left in direct sunlight. So between silver nitrate and plus chloride ion, it will form a precipitation of silver chloride. Now the silver chloride is then left in the direct sunlight. So what will happen? Now first there will be precipitation, which is white. Silver chloride is white, and then after living in sunlight there will be decomposition of silver chloride, it will turn gray. It will turn gray as silver ions is reduced into only silver. So the answer is 14 is D. Let's see the explanation in here. So you see there is a reaction in here. So you see this one, silver chloride is white. With the sunlight, it will reduce to silver and chlorine gas. So this is sunlight, silver chloride. There will be photochemical decomposition and silver chloride to gray silver metal. I hope it's clear for this question. Let's move on to next question. So question 15, water is added to anhydrous copper sulfate. What happened during the reaction? Copper sulfate is a common question. Anhydrous is white. So when water is added, there will be change of color. For number 15, it will be turn blue and the solution gets hotter since it is exothermic reaction. This is the pictures. So this is anhydrous is in the white. When we put some drop of water, then it will turn blue and become hydrated copper sulfate, and the temperature will increase. Alright, question 16. Aqueous iron chloride FeCl3 reacts with aqueous potassium iodide Ki. FeCl3 plus Ki equals will produce FeCl2 plus KCl plus I2. Statements are correct. Number 1, in the balance equation, V, W, X, and Y have the same value. Potassium iodide is an oxidizing agent. A dark brown solution is produced in the reaction. So when we produce iodine, iodine has a dark brown solution. So 3 will be correct. Now let's choose between 2 and 3 or 1 and 3. 1 in the balance. So we have to balance this. And point number 2, potassium iodide is an oxidizing agent. It means it will be reduced. But in here, potassium iodide, this is oxygen number of I is -1, K plus 1. But in here, K remain plus 1 and I becomes 0. So there is a increase in oxidation number from I from -1 for I into 0. So this is an oxidation. So if Ki undergo oxidation, it means Ki is a reducing agent, not an oxidizing agent. Since there is increase in oxygen number from -1 for this I and 0 to iodine. So number 2 is wrong. Now our option is, it means it's B, 16 is B, 1 and 3. So why 1 is correct? Why 1 is correct? That is the question. So it means we'll all have the same value. Let's check the value. Let's check the value. So F is right, 1 on the left, 1 on the right. Cl, there are 3, 1, 2, 3. 2 here plus 1 is 3, so it's balanced. K is 1 on the left and 1 on the right. I is 3. I is, how many I here? I is 1. But on the left, I is 1, but there are 2, so actually we have to make it into 1, so we put half here. So it means this the same, 1, 1, 1, 1, except this one. And when we times the whole equation with 2, we will have the coefficient into all is 2. So 2, 2, 2, 2. So it's correct. Same value. So 16 is B. Let's move on to question 17. 17. Which statement about acid is correct? A strong acid has higher pH than weak acid. No, strong acid is lower, as strong acid is the pH is 1 or 2. Strong acid is proton acceptor, proton donor. Weak acid is proton donor. It is correct. Weak acid is fully ionized. No, it's partially ionized, so it's wrong. So 17 will be C. Question 18. The oxides of two elements X and Y are separately dissolved in water and the pH of each solution is tested. Which information about X and Y is correct? So the pH of X is low, so it will be acidic. So X will be acidic, so this will be our answer, A or B. Now Y is high pH, it means is basic, so this one. So since Y is basic, it means Y is metal, so metal is Y and non-metal is X. So our answer will be B for 18B. Since metal is always have basic oxide and non-metal have acidic oxide. Alright, let's move on to question 19. An acid is neutralized by adding an excess of insoluble solid base. A soluble salt is formed. How is pure salt obtained from the reaction mixture? So when the salt is soluble, what we can do is there is excess of insoluble solid base, so we have to filter the excess of insoluble solid base. So filtration will be the first step to separate this one, the excess of insoluble salt base. After that, we'll get the soluble salt and still mix with water. So we need to evaporate, and then after that, when the crystal is formed, we'll do crystallization. That is, evaporate the remaining water and dry it. So we obtain a dry crystal. So 19 will be D. Question 20. The electronic structures of Z is 281. Which statement was Z are correct? 281, so it means this is in group 1. It has valence electron of 1. So it is a metal. It has 2 outer shell electron. It is wrong because it is 1 in here. So 2 is wrong, 2 is wrong. So the only option is 1 and 3. Question 20 is 1 and 3, but why 3 is correct? It is in period 3. Do you think it's correct? Well, we think so. So how do we know is period 3? Because it has 1 shell, 2 shell, 3 shell. The number of period show the number of shells or the number of layer here. Question 21. Elements in group 4 of the periodic table are shown. Carbon, silicon, germanium, tin, lead. What does not occur in group 4 as it is descended? Going down. So let's skim the answer. The proton increase. It is true, elements become more metallic. It is true, this is metal. Elements have more electrons in outer shell. Now they are all in group 4. They have the same 4 electrons in outer shell. So not occur is C. 21 is C. Now let's move on to question 22. Element M forms both M plus and M2 plus. Which part of periodic table M is placed? So since it has 2 oxidation state, 2 type of cation, 2 type of charge M plus and M2 plus, this will only happen in transition metal, not in group 1, 2, 3. So it will be transition element for question 22. Since transition elements may have more than one type of charge or oxidation state. Question 23. In the extraction of aluminum by electrolysis, cryolite is added to the bauxite ore. Which row describe the role of cryolite and give the ionic half equation of the cathode? So as we know, the role of cryolite in extraction of aluminum is to lower the melting point of the electrolyte. The function of cryolite, we have to remember this. And ionic half equation at the cathode is the reduction. So Al3 plus except the electron become Al. So we don't have to we cannot put 3 because on the left is only 1, so not so 1 and 1. So 23 will be C. So this is wrong. Question 24. Let's move on. Mild steel is galvanized to prevent corrosion of the iron. Which statement about galvanizing are correct? Galvanizing prevent corrosion because zinc forms an alloy. No, because zincs are more readily to react, not forms alloy. So one is wrong. The coating is damaged. Water and oxygen do not corrode the iron. Yes, because they still prefer to react with zinc. So 2 is correct. 3. Zinc is a sacrificial metal and corrodes in preference to iron. So 24, 3 is correct. So we have D. If we see zinc and iron, this is the list of metal reactivity. Zinc is higher, so zinc is more reactive and is more preferable to react with oxygen instead of iron. So that is to explain why. Alright, question 25. Which diagram represents the arrangement of the outer shell electron of a noble gas? Noble gas has 2 on its outer shell, or 8. 2 for only for helium has 2, but the rest has 8. So let's check. This is correct. 1, 2, 3, 4 is not. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 is not. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 is not. So this is 7. This is 6. This is 4. This is 2. Correct. That is for helium. Complete electron configuration. Question 26. Which statement about the general properties of metals are correct? They are good conductors of heat and electricity. This answer. And they have low melting point. Now they have high melting point. They react with dilute acid to form salt and water. No, they react with dilute acid to form hydrogen. So 3 is wrong. 2 is wrong. So the only option is B, 1 and 4. But let's see why 1 and 4 is correct. So 1 we have discussed, they have good conductors of heat and electricity, but 4 they react with oxygen to form basic oxide. It will be correct. So metal plus oxygen will form metal oxide. Let's take the example magnesium plus oxygen will form magnesium oxide. Well, metal and acid will form salt and hydrogen. That will explain why. Metal oxide is basic oxide. Okay, let's move on to question 27. Reaction of 3 metals and their oxides are shown. What is the order of reactivity of these metals from most reactive to least reactive one? So most reactive metal will react with acid, oxygen, and water. So these 2 will be more reactive compared to 3. Heat metal oxide with carbon. 1 react, 2 does not react. Now let's check the list of reactivity of metal. You will see this is carbon in here as a reference. The metals that are higher, there are some metal higher in a higher reactivity, more reactive than carbon. Some metals less reactive than carbon, and some metal less reactive than hydrogen. So the metal that are more reactive than carbon is at the top part. So what happens is when the metal oxide react with carbon, there will be no reaction since they are reactive. They tend to be in the metal oxide. Then carbon cannot displace the more reactive metal. So the more reactive metal will have no reaction. So 2 will be the first, and followed by 1, and 3 will be the last. Our answer will be C for question 27. So I hope that is clear. So the more reactive metal is at the top list. It reacts with water, with acid, with oxygen. And the less reactive is at the bottom. It is very unreactive. Some only react with oxygen, some only react with acid, but most reactive metal react with all this water, acid, and oxygen. So I hope that's clear for this question. So now we are in question 28. 3 metal compounds J, K, and L are heated using a Bunsen burner. The results are shown. JKL. J is colorless gas produced which relights a glowing spin. That will be an oxygen. Colorless gas which turn lime water milky, that will be the carbon dioxide. L is no reaction, so J will contain when it's heated, it will produce oxygen. So it will be from the nitrate, like potassium nitrate. When it's heated, it produces oxygen. So now K will produce carbon dioxide, so it must have contained carbonate. Well, L, there's no reaction. Now let's check the difference between K and L. K is magnesium carbonate and L is potassium carbonate. So for question 28, we have to remember that magnesium carbonate is more easily to decompose when it's heated, while potassium carbonate is unreactive, is stable when it's heated, even when it's heated using Bunsen burner. This is things to keep in mind. Potassium is from the group 1. Carbonate is more stable, so it's hard to decompose even in high temperature, while magnesium is from group 2, easily to decompose to form carbon dioxide. So that's things to remember. So 28 is C, and we call it potassium carbonate is thermostable compound. All right, let's move on. Question 29, the diagram shows the uses and treatment of muddy river water. Muddy river water, process 1, clear river water, process 2, disinfected water. So which row identifies uses 1 and 2 and processes 1 and 2? Use 1 and 2. Muddy river water is just for cleaning, not for drinking. So watering crop, yes. Use 2, disinfected, will be for drinking. Process 1 will be filtration, from muddy to clear to filtration. So disinfected will chlorination. So the answer for question 29 will be D. With D, I hope it's clear, because chlorination will do disinfect the water. Question 30, the equation for the manufacture of ammonia in Haber process is shown. This is the reaction. The forward reaction is exothermic. Going here is exothermic. Which row describes the effect of the state of change on the reaction rate and the yield of the ammonia? So we see the coefficient in here. This is 3 and 1, so it's 4. The total molecule is 2. So what happens if we increase the pressure? The effect will be equilibrium will shift to the side with less molecule, that is to the right. So when we increase the pressure, the yield of ammonia will increase. Well, if we decrease the pressure, the equilibrium will shift to the left, the side with more molecules. So if we decrease the pressure, yield of ammonia will decrease, is correct. The reaction rate will decrease because less pressure means less successful collision. Decrease temperature, since forward is exothermic, so it will increase the yield of ammonia, but it will decrease the reaction rate for 30. So B is correct, as decreased temperature means less successful collision, but since this is exothermic, the forward reaction, so lower temperature will increase the yield, since the equilibrium will shift to the right. So B is correct. So question 30 is B. Increased pressure will shift the equilibrium to the right, but this will increase, not decrease. Increased temperature will increase the rate, and it will decrease the yield since the forward reaction is exothermic. Question 31. Fertilizers are used to provide 3 of the elements needed for plant growth. Which 2 compounds would give a fertilizer containing all 3 of these elements? So we need nitrogen, phosphate, and potassium. So There's no potassium in here, there is no potassium, there's potassium, but there's no phosphate in here. There is phosphate, there is potassium, there's nitrogen. So this will be this one. Then there is potassium, there is nitrogen, and there is phosphate. Question 32. The flow chart shows part of the process for the manufacture of sulfuric acid and its electrolysis. What are gases in 1, 2, and 3? So 1, 2, 3. So this is the process of manufacturing sulfuric acid. So it starts from the sulfur dioxide with oxygen to form sulfur trioxide, and then after that it will be concentrated to form oleum, and it will be the final product is sulfuric acid. So it will be sulfur dioxide plus oxygen. So gas 1 and 2 will be sulfur dioxide, and the option is this one, not trioxide. Trioxide is in the gas 3. So this is correct. Now sulfur dioxide plus oxygen, gas 2. Oxygen, sulfur dioxide to form sulfur trioxide. So our answer will be B for question 32. Let's move on to question 33. Which statement about sulfur dioxide are correct? Sulfur dioxide decolorizes acidified potassium manganate. It should be correct because sulfur dioxide is a bleaching agent, is used as bleaching. So 1 and 3 is correct. Sulfur dioxide forms when acid react with carbonate. So when acid react with carbonate, it will form carbon dioxide, not sulfur dioxide. So question statement 2 is wrong. We have 1, 3 and 1, 4. Let's check 4. Sulfur dioxide is used to treat acidic salt. Well, sulfur dioxide is acidic oxide. It cannot treat acidic salt as it has already acidic. The pH is low, so 4 is wrong. So we have the only possible answer is A. Now let's move on to question 34. What are the products when limestone calcium carbonate is heated strongly? Calcium carbonate will produce, for question 34, there will be calcium oxide and carbon dioxide. The process of obtaining iron from hematite from its ore. So in the reaction we use ore, coke, and limestone. So limestone is CaCO3 will decompose into calcium oxide and carbon dioxide. That will be the answer for this. Calcium oxide and carbon dioxide. 34 is D. Question 35. The structures of ester W is shown. Which row? Question 35. The structures of ester W is shown. Which row gives the names of ester W and the carboxylic acid and alcohol from which it is made? So this is the ester linkage. It's cut in here. This part belongs to alcohol. This is 1C, so it will be methanol. So either A or C. Now this part belongs to carboxylic acid. There are 2C, so ethanoic acid. Both are the same. Now the name will be, it has to start with the alcohol name. So methanol become methyl. Then the ATE, we get it from ethanoic, methyl ethanoate. So this is C for 35. Is C. Methyl from the alcohol. Ethanoate is from the carboxylic acid. So we hope it's clear. Question 36. Ethanol is made industrially by the fermentation of glucose or by the catalytic addition of steam to ethene. Which statement describes an advantage of fermentation compared to catalytic addition? So advantage of fermentation is it is made from organic material like sugarcane, the source of glucose. No, but the not ethanol is the only product there will be, because it's using yeast, so there will be carbon dioxide. So ethanol is not the only product. Fermentation use a batch, but catalytic is continuous, so Uses a batch is not an advantage because it will be slower process. Fermentation uses a higher temperature. No, fermentation use lower compared to catalytic. So since ABC is wrong, the answer should be D for 36. Let's check why D is correct. Fermentation uses renewable resources like sugarcane is a plant, so it is renewable all the time. So question 36 is done. 37. Some properties of colorless liquid L are listed. It boils at 65 degrees Celsius. When added to water, two layers form which do not make, this is a non-polar liquid because it does not mix with water. Non-polar is not ethanol, it will be alkane or alkene, and it does not react with sodium carbonate. If it is acid, it will surely react with sodium carbonate. So we have to choose between hexane and hexene. There's no effect on bromine water. I mean, there is no double bond, so it should be hexane. Because double bond will, when we added bromine water, it will be colorless. So 37 is B. 39, 38, I mean. A molecule of P contains 2 carbon and 4 hydrogen. So C2H4, which row represent P? So C2 is 2 times, so to count the MR is 2 times 12. H is 4 times 1, so 24. 2 times 2 is 24 plus 4 is 28. So we have to choose between C and D. Since this is C2H4, it is for double bond because this is only H4. So how do we know double bond? Because this is C2H4. If there's no double bond, it will be C2H6 because there's one more bonding with hydrogen. So this is the formula for alkene CnH2n. So alkene will 18, so 38 will be C, since it has double bond. And it reacts with aqueous bromine from orange to colorless. Question 39. The reaction of ethanol with acidified potassium manganate is shown. Which type of reaction is taking place? This is ethanol, we know from the OH. This is carboxylic acid. So there's addition of O. And there is oxidation. So oxidation is when the alcohol is oxidized into carboxylic acid because the O is from 1 become 2. Potassium permanganate is the oxidizing agent. Question 40. Which polymer is a synthetic polymer? Polyamide. So is it polyethylene? Polyethylene is not amide. Polyethylene is just a polymer from ethylene. Protein is natural, not synthetic. So we have to choose between nylon and terylene. Terylene is the ester linkage. Now nylon is the amide. So the synthetic polyamide will be nylon. And here you can see the terylene is the ester linkage. Then we can see that it is CO and O. So CO, so this is the ester, while nylon is the amide CONH. So it's from here, CO and then NH, and it produces water from here. So the NH bind to here. So that will be nylon. So we have done with all 40 questions. We'll scroll over from up till you may see the mark scheme and match your answer. This is question 1. This is 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, 25, 26, 27, 28, 29, 30, 31, 32, 33, 34, 35, 36, 37, 38, 39, and the last is 40. Today we have discussed chemistry past paper IGCSE for grade 10. It's from June 2022. The paper code is 0620. Paper 2, extended syllabus, is for multiple choice question. Please check links in the description for other useful links. It covers all other subjects like physics, bio, English, or mathematics. Don't forget to ring the bell so you'll be first to be notified when we release our latest updates. As we keep updating our resources every week. Like and share to anybody who might this because subscription, sharing, and is free. Today discussion is conducted with by Study with CGN Online because for all this program and subject and program. Please email us if you need private one-to-one tutorial or tuition with affordable price, and email us if you need any soft copy of this past paper. It is all absolutely free. Don't forget to share and ring the bell. Bye bye and see you in the next video. We hope today's discussion will be helpful to you. If you have any question, comment, idea, or input, please feel free to write in the comment section in Susan Hira YouTube channel. Or if you request for a soft copy of this past paper. Well, bye bye and see you in the next video. And God bless you.